Begin in a seated position. We're going to start with seated circles. So bring your attention to your hips or your tailbone. And begin to draw circles on the earth by keeping your spine long, the crown of your head reaching upwards. Just moving in one direction, maybe exhaling as you lean forward and sweep across your front side. And then exhale as you come back. Make sure you're switching directions so you're moving those circles both towards the left or clockwise and counterclockwise. Take a couple deep breaths. Find some stillness. Child's pose is next. Begin to make your way into child's pose by bringing your big toes to touch and spreading your knees out wide towards the outside edges of your mat. Make plenty of space for baby to rest in between your thighs. If you'd like to, you can take a blanket or pillow and place it behind your knees or under your hips for a little bit of extra support in this posture. So if you're feeling any irritation in your hips or your knee joints, you're welcome to do that. Likewise, you can rest your head on a pillow, a bolster, a block. You can stack your hands on top of one another and rest your forehead there. But make sure that your forehead is resting down somewhere, gently. Once you've gotten comfortable, start to bring your awareness to your breath. Feel the expansion through your belly as your lungs fill up with air and kind of push everything in your abdomen around. And then feel a slight contraction of your abs as you exhale, just hugging everything in. A couple more breaths just like that. Begin to make your way out of child's pose and into a tabletop position. Wrists directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. Engage your belly, keep a 90-degree bend in your right knee, and lift your heel up towards the sky. Flex your right foot as if you're going to stamp the ceiling with the sole of your foot. Option in this position to just stay and hold and breathe. Or if you'd like to, you can start to find some tiny pulses with your heel, maybe just moving your heel and your knee upward an inch or two. Alternatively, if you'd like to start to find some movement through your hip joint, you can begin to draw big circles with your right knee, pulling it up and over towards your right shoulder, then back and down to start. Again, these are all just options and variations in this position. Hold, pulse, circles, a combination of all of those, whatever feels good. Place your right toes down on your mat. Press your mat away from your body as you lean back. Shoulders come behind your wrists for a calf stretch on the right side. Keep your belly engaged and firm here. So as gravity is working against you, maybe pulling that baby downward, hug them in. Find your tabletop position again. We're going to practice a couple of scapular push-ups. As you exhale, you're going to push your mat away from your body, find some engagement through your core. As you inhale, allow your heart and chest to sink downward towards your mat. And then exhale, push them back up. Just starting to recognize and engage those muscles in those areas. Once you've had enough of that, we'll switch to your glute exercises on the other side. So left heel lifts, left knee lifts. Option to hold or pulse, or maybe begin to draw those big circles with your left knee this time. At this point, we've activated and talked about engaging your core. So make sure you're finding that strong firmness through your mid-body. We've also practiced playing around with activation through your spine, so really work on pushing your mat away from you so that there's some space created between your shoulder blades. So you're nice and active through your upper body, even though it looks like it's the leg doing most of the work. You're welcome to place your left toes back, and we'll find a stretch through your left hamstring for a breath or two. And when you're ready, you move into a child's pose. In this child's pose, again, just finding some comfort. Maybe rolling the wrists, rocking the head side to side. All really nice options. Press yourself back up into a tabletop position. We're going to prepare for a side plank. So plant your right hand down right in front of your face and kickstand your right leg so it's parallel with the back edge of your mat. Send your left leg back, your toes or your left foot is parallel with the back edge of your mat, and then left fingertips reach up towards the sky. Option to keep your left foot grounded, or if you'd like a little bit more, you can definitely lift your left leg up off the mat, feeling your side glutes engage. For a chest opener and a little challenge for your balance, maybe you bend that left leg, arm and hand connect behind your back. As you kick into your hand, you find some openness and expansion through your hips, your heart, your belly. Remember, these are all just options. You're welcome to keep your foot right there on the ground if that feels good too. Work on pushing the ground away through your right hand. And then bring both hands down to the ground, kind of walk yourself over to an upright position, keeping your legs right where they're at. Inhale, gate pose. Lift your right fingertips up towards the sky and lean over towards the left side. So you're feeling a big stretch on the right side of your body, the side of your body that was just doing so much work in that side plank. Options in this gate pose to hold your belly or place your hands on a block or a stack of books or whatever you have to support your upper body in this position. If you have your hand on a block, work on actively pushing down into the block as you lift up through your right hand. Make your way back to a tabletop position. And we're going to go ahead and switch sides. Right fingertips come up towards the sky as your left hand is directly underneath you, pushing the earth away. Left leg parallel with the back edge of your mat. Right foot parallel with the back edge of your mat. Option to leave it grounded, lift it, or find a bind. Slowly begin to make your way out of this side plank position by bringing your hands down to the mat, walking your hands in front of you, and making your way up to kneeling on that one knee. Legs are staying just as they were in your side plank position. Inhale, left fingertips high. Gate pose on this side, leaning over towards your right, feeling a big stretch on the left side of your body. Hand holding your belly or hand resting on the block. One more inhale breath. And one more exhale brings your hands back down to the mat, coming into a tabletop position, stepping your feet back to a high plank, and sending your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Find just a little bit of shaking and movement in this position. Your feet can step wide to make some room for your belly. Then inhale, lift your right leg high. And exhale, step or grab and pull your right leg up towards the top of your mat. In this position, if this is too much pressure on your back knee, you're welcome to take your blanket or a pillow and roll it up under your knee for some extra support. Find that same activation that we did in tabletop. So you're pushing down through the mat, finding some engagement through your chest, creating some space between your shoulder blades. The more you send your hips forward and down, the more intense this stretch will feel in your left hip flexor. Likewise, if you'd like to become more active in this posture, you can lift your back knee up off your blanket or mat by tucking your left toes and activating through your left leg. Lots of options here. Half splits is next. Begin to walk your hands back and straighten your right leg. Your hips will come to rest over your left knee. Focus on creating a very long spine, maybe even drawing your sitting bones up and back to create some length on the back side of your legs. Keep your right foot flexed and only lean forward as much as feels good in your body. So we shouldn't find any pain or discomfort in this position. And certainly if you're having to bend your right knee a lot, you've gone too far, so just sit a little bit more upright. And you can use blocks to support you in this position at whatever level or variation you're at. Focus here on long spine and flexed foot. Walk yourself back and come to a kneeling side lunge position. So you'll take your right foot and bring it to the outside edge of your mat, your right toes pointing away from your body. Bring your attention to your knee on the right. You're going to just gently, with the strength of your legs, guide your right knee out towards your right pinky toe edge. If you'd like to find some movement in this position, a rotation through the spine can feel really nice, inhaling as you unwind, exhaling as you reach over towards your right leg. Otherwise, just hold it and breathe and enjoy that hip opening that's happening on the right side. Let's make our way out of this position. Both knees meet on the mat in front of you. Camel pose is next. Place your hands at your low back. Draw your elbows back behind you and lift up through your heart, maybe gaze up. So we're just finding a gentle back bend from your upper body. Being sure not to push it too deep, but definitely finding a lift, maybe some length through your spine. When you've had enough of your camel pose, gently take a seat on your heels or on a pillow or a blanket and take a couple deep breaths. Make your way into a low lunge on the opposite side. So now your left foot is coming towards the top of your mat instead of your right. This time your right knee resting down on the ground or blanket. Feeling free to drop those hips forward and down as much as it feels good in your right hip flexor. Or perhaps becoming active in this posture by tucking your right toes under, strengthening through your right leg and lifting your right leg up. Listen to your body. This side may feel a little bit different. So maybe on one side it felt good to keep the knee down. Maybe on this side you want to try activating through the thigh. It's okay to play around. Just tune into your body. Kind of listen and see what it needs, what it feels good. Half splits is next. So you begin straightening through your left leg, sending your hips over your right knee, using your blocks to support you. And remember, the more upright you are, the less intense the hamstring stretch is going to be. The key here is to keep your left foot flexed, your sitting bones reaching up and back, so you're actually lengthening through your hamstrings when you do that movement. And then keeping your spine really long, so if you are leaning forward, try to avoid rounding through your back. We're going to keep a nice flat back as you hinge from your hips to find a nice hamstring stretch here. And any time that you find comfort or pause in a position, just bring your attention back to your inhale, filling up your belly, and your exhale, maybe finding a little bit of engagement through the core. We begin to make our way out of this position, walking back very gently, setting your blocks aside if you are using them, and then having a seat on your mat with your feet coming forward. Seated figure 4 is next. Send your left leg long and tuck the sole of your right foot onto the inside of your left thigh. Sit up nice and tall. If this is a little bit too much on your hips or hamstrings, you're welcome to sit on top of a bolster or your blocks. Bringing your hips up can try to alleviate a little bit of the strain there. If you're looking for a bit more, maybe you grab your right foot and place it on top of your left thigh. Leaning forward will increase the intensity of this stretch. Leaning back will soften the stretch a bit. Make sure you're keeping both feet flexed. And again, if you need a little bit more, you can bend your left leg, keeping your right foot flexed. And this will draw your shin towards your heart. Use your hands to support you as you lean back. These are all just multiple variations of the same amazing yoga posture. So just find a variation or a stretch that fits for you in your body, on this side, in this moment. If you would like to take it one step further, perhaps you work on finding a fire log pose. It's called fire log because you may imagine that both shins are stacking one on top of the other, just like a couple of fire logs may. So your right heel is directly on top of your left knee, and your right knee directly on top of your left heel. Both feet stay flexed in this position, and you're welcome to use blocks to support your legs or the weight of your body. Leaning forward will increase the intensity, as with any of these stretches or variations of this figure 4 stretch. Always coming back to your breath. Maybe giving yourself a little self-massage if your hands are connecting to your leg or your feet. You're never restricted to stillness in any of these positions. So if you work your way into one and realize it's not for you, that's okay. Feel free to adjust, to wiggle, to move, twist, to bend. Place the soles of your feet down on the ground, windshield wiper your legs side to side. So from whatever position you were just in, we're just going to find some opening or movement through the hips and spine here. And then let's switch sides. Right leg goes long, right foot flexed. The sole of your left foot presses in or gently touches the inside of your right thigh, both feet flexed. Make sure your spine is nice and long, sitting bones reaching back. You're welcome to lean forward. To increase the intensity, if leaning forward was not enough, grab your left foot, place it on top of your thigh. Encourage your left knee away from your body. If you need more still, working your way into that seated figure 4. Hands support your weight as you lean back. Your shin draws closer to your body for more intensity. All the while, both feet remain flexed. Breath remains long, large, steady. Letting your belly expand as you inhale and contract as you exhale. If you'd like to take it one step further still, you're welcome to make your way into that fire log pose. So knees and ankles stacked directly above one another, parallel with the top edge of your mat, still both feet staying flexed, and using your blocks, blankets, bolsters, pillows, anything that you need underneath your knees or your thighs to support the weight here. The longer we hold some of these positions, the more our tissues tend to release and relax a bit. It's very important to be a little extra cautious, especially in the later trimester, with that hormone relaxin, which is already working to soften lots of your joints. So if you've done any of these postures before and you knew that this was your edge or this was your limit, be sure to honor that edge. We don't want to push beyond those edges just because our body's extra stretchy at the moment. So just asking you to tune into your body, to pay attention. Slowly begin to make your way out of this position, whichever figure 4 variation you've found for your body. Windshield wiper your legs again, side to side, just alleviating some of that tension, getting some blood flowing in the legs again. Let's now prepare for our final resting posture. You're invited to get comfortable in any position that you choose. I'm going to go ahead and set up here in a comfortable seated position, sitting up nice and tall with some props to support. In whatever position you end up finding, bring your hands to your belly. We're going to play around with the breath just another more moment before we find some stillness. So as your hands come to your belly in whatever comfortable resting position you find yourself in, as you inhale, feel the expansion. Allow your belly to rise and fill up. And then as you exhale, I want you to imagine your belly or the muscles in your belly just hugging and knitting closed around your baby. So again, inhale and you're creating some space for that little one in there. And then as you exhale, you're hugging them with your abdominal cavity, with your core. You're inhaling, creating space, filling up. Exhale, hug the baby, engaging your abdomen, feeling your trunk just take up less space. Just a few more rounds of breath at your own pace. Inhaling, becoming wide, spacious. Exhaling, giving a little squeeze, a little extra love and attention to the core. Once you've completed a couple of rounds, you're welcome to just pause and rest. Let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. And now just become observer of your breath and the space that it creates or changes within your core, within your cavity, around your baby. In these last few moments, try not to control the breath in any way. Just see what your body is asking of you. Just feel the breath. Maybe you can feel your baby. And let's take a couple deep open mouth exhales for our final breaths in this posture and this practice. So maybe you breathe in, fill up. Open your mouth, exhale. Hands to heart center. And then you can bring your thumbs to your forehead. Bow to seal in your practice. My soul honors your soul. Thank you for being here today. Namaste.